I was asked to do a history of how TRE developed. But as I was thinking about this, I can't really do the history of TRE without doing some development of myself personally, because my experiences through life that led me up to developing TRE are very important. And so I want to lay that out very briefly for you. So I'm going to consider this part one, where I'm talking about my personal development, and then that'll lead into part two, where I'm talking more about the development of TRE. Now, one of the most important parts about my personal development is the number of countries that I've lived in during my life. Egypt, North Yemen, Lebanon, Palestinian West Bank, Israel, Japan, New Zealand, Western Samoa, and Italy. Now, along with living in these countries, I actually had the experience of obviously diverse cultures, languages, attitudes towards life, spiritualities, belief systems, and religions. All of those collectively would naturally have had to influence me. But when I look back over it, the influence was quite remarkable. Now, it's important that I talk about religion as well. Not that TRE promotes any type of religion at all, or belief system, or any particular faith. It's quite neutral, actually. But those things affected my life the way I think, and affects the way many of us think in this world, from atheism and agnosticism to believers in some sort of religion or belief system. So I'm doing this just to tell you what I was exposed to, that's all. And then the exposure led to something much deeper than I realized it would have done. Having grown up in the United States, I was pretty familiar with both the Protestant Christian traditions and the Catholic Christian tradition. However, what's really interesting is when I lived in Japan, I was also exposed to the belief systems of Buddhism, Shintoism, Taoism, and Confucianism. Then when I moved to the Middle East, I was exposed to the Coptic Orthodox faith, as well as the Coptic Catholic faith. Likewise, in the Middle East, I was exposed to Sunni Muslims, Shiite Muslims, and Sufi Muslims. Then when I moved to Israel and the Palestinian West Bank, I was exposed to Reform Judaism, Conservative Judaism, and Orthodox Judaism. Now, what happened to me in all of these experiences was that all the religions and belief systems and all the divisions fell away. All the cultural, racial, political, and economic differences, they all fell away. And I could simply see human beings all striving to live a healthy, comfortable life, all in different ways, but the goal was the same for everybody. I realized that only by being exposed to all of these differences was I able to see beneath them, or past them, or through them, to just the human species. And that's what Stephen Porges in the polyvagal theory teaches us. He said, we are a united species. We are not about self-regulation. We're about co-regulation, and mammals are functionally defined by their need to co-regulate with another, and we are mammals. Once we define ourselves as an organism whose survival is dependent on opportunities to successfully co-regulate, then we have moved into the life space of others. And that was my experience. I experienced many countries and cultures and religions of people attempting to co-regulate together to live as one species. That was one of the beginning ideas around TRE, that it is a co-regulating mechanism. It can help us move together more as a unified species, because we see below cultures, language, traditions, religions, belief systems, and we see only the human species. Carl Jung has an amazing quote which I identify with, and it says, Whoever looks outside dreams. Whoever looks inside awakens. And all of that activity that I did all over the world, looking outside, somehow caused me to awaken inside. And that's what this little journey that I'm about to take you through did for me and helped to develop TRE.